Something doesn't seem quite right here. Sir, did you know you're floating? Sir, you're much too heavy to be floating. What are you doing? You cannot be floating, sir. Sir. About time. Weirdo. Hello there, and welcome back to Rowcraft. Season 5, Episode 5. You've caught me doing a bit of enchanting around the base, trying to move on to some nice new shiny diamond armor and get out of my old rusty iron clothes. But there's no real rush. Realistically, there's not a whole lot of difference between iron and diamond beyond the greater endurance, so until I can get a set of diamond with all the right enchants on it, I'll just keep wearing my iron, but always with one eye on a bright, shiny, diamond-faceted future. With all the work I've been doing with the Sniffers and all the underwater ruins I've searched, I realized that it was going to be very difficult for anyone else to find 2 Sniffer eggs out in the wild. So, with that in mind, I thought I would set up a shop selling Sniffer kits to all the other players so everyone can enjoy the gassy, farty goodness that is a Sniffer farm. Share the wealth, I always say. Unless it involves my diamonds, then I say, "Get off my lawn!" To which they normally reply, "Your lawn? We were just trying to steal your diamonds." To which I reply, "You heard me!" and give them a wild-eyed crazy look until they back slowly away. So, as we normally do here on Rowcraft, we've decided to put the shops at spawn. This year's spawn is basically a massive hilltop, and although, like with everything on Rowcraft, we have no real plans for what we're going to do, I'm going to just go with the first basic thought I have about it and put the first stall here. And for the record, this is day 6 on the server, so materials are limited, so don't judge a stall too harshly. It's going to be small and it's going to be simple. Whatever it turns out to be, though, it will be more involved than the Season 2 GGG shop that was just a stump of wood next to a chest with stuff in it. Now, the only idea I have for spawn at this point is start with simple shops and stalls that are placed along some sort of northerly facing path that leads up to the crown of the hill. The further north the shops are, the larger and more advanced the shops would get, with possibly some sort of paved open area market taking up the circular crest of the hill, with maybe some sort of monument in the center of it all, or a water fountain, or maybe none of that. What am I, some sort of fortune teller? All I know is, whatever it will grow into being will start with this simple stall that sells Sniffer kits. We'll see what the others are inspired to do as time goes on. Random flaming arrow aside, what can I say, my trigger finger is a bit twitchy. This will do for a quickie shack selling 1 item. We can always upgrade it later, but I like to see a bit of history in builds. I like the idea of shops starting off simple like this and then growing more and more involved as they go north. It's kind of a cool idea, I think. I mean, I know this shack impresses no one, but it doesn't need to. It's here to do one thing, and that's share the possibility of owning your own Sniffer with the server. In case you didn't already know, in order to breed Sniffers, you need 2 Sniffers. Well, I mean, obviously you need 2 Sniffers, and you know what I mean. And then you feed them some torchflower seeds, which only they can find, which makes for a bit of a complicated and time-consuming process. Unless, of course, there's a GGG shack on your server, then it's just a case of handing over your diamonds. Your precious diamonds. But I'm not doing this for diamonds. I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart, which can be purchased for 9 diamonds per kit. And we're back at the village, and I've started working on my main house and basically just tore the walls out, and I'm trying to find a block palette I like, when I stumbled on this combination. I don't know what it is about it, but I really like how the jungle planks work with the cherry logs. And I even like how the little pink buttons just add in that little detail without grabbing too much attention to make them a distraction. Now I left the original roof on because my thinking is to change this to fit my needs without reinventing the wheel. The roof design is actually kind of good for a stock villager house, so the plan is, let's maintain that same shape, but with something other than oak planks. My main thinking for this whole village project, because remember, the idea is to take this sparsely housed village and turn it into a thriving little villager community that also serves as my base of operations. These two buildings on the left were combined together into the villager bunkhouse / unintended iron golem farm, while the house across the street from me was demolished to make room for a path leading from my front door and out to the rest of the village. And of course this here is where I have been sleeping and store all my items, but I'm already running out of room for what little I have, so it's time to upgrade storage in the house I store it in, which leads me to this design. Now, I've removed the roof and I'm going to start playing around with the shape of it, but the house itself is basically just going to be an oval shape. It probably breaks all kinds of rules when it comes to how to make your Minecraft builds interesting, but there's always one theme that my builds seem to have in common, and that is small, efficient, not a lot of wasted space. I don't spend a lot of time trying to do mega builds or try to make a work of art out of them. I just try to make something functional that pleases my eye. It's not that big builds don't have their place, but for me, I don't know, I take some kind of weird pride in making use of as small a space as possible. I don't know why, just how my brain works, I guess. Anyway, this will be my main storage area. My storage areas tend to be manual. I don't think I've built an item sorter since Season 1. They just take up so much space and are relatively slow at sorting the items, and then there's the lag issue. I mean, I know the sorters have gotten better over the years, but since I'm already not likely to be doing any sort of mega builds, I'll be just fine with my manual storage. Now, not everything will be stored here, but the main building blocks will. Really, the main goal here is to have enough chests to store my items, have a bed, and maybe some minor interior design elements, and I'm good. There will be other buildings to store items specific to their function, like the smelter, the enchanter, the potion room, and whatever farms I build, like a wool farm. No reason to cart all the wool from the farm to some other area when it makes more sense to just keep all the wool at the farm and save time moving all that stuff around needlessly. And now it's time for a bit of random. Is it just me, or does fighting swimming pillagers remind anyone else of some sort of water-based space invaders? Well, now what do I do? I have an awful lot of villagers in this village. Last thing I want is a raid here. Well, there's got to be some golems running around here. Let's see if we can drag them in here. Put one of these golems to use. Come on, buddy. Come on. Get over here. Get over here. Come on. Okay. Golem! Golem! Oh, jeez. Golem! Come on. Get over here. Get over here. We're being invaded. Get over there. Get him. Get him. Ow. Thanks, big guy. Nicely done. This has been a bit of random. And now that the village is safe once more, it's time to work on a new emerald revenue stream. As I've said in earlier videos, I haven't really done any deep dives on villagers in a very long time, and this season, I've been trying out new things. One of those new things was to trade sticks with Fletchers with the idea that if I had a bamboo farm, I would have all the sticks in the world, and then the emeralds would just start rolling in. The reality is that is a very clunky way to gain emeralds. I suppose if you were to cure a villager multiple times and have the cures stack up, you would get the trades down to 1 stick per emerald, but not on Roguecraft. We decided years ago, when cure stacking first became a thing, that it was a bit too OP. So here, you can cure villagers once and get whatever the benefits of that single cure are. Now, you can cure the villagers as many times as you like, but the prices never drop any further after the first cure. Of course, I wish I had remembered we had done that before setting up my plans for a vault full of emerald blocks from stick trades, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta adapt. So, since sticks are out and paper trades only drop from 24 to 19 after 1 cure, I've decided to go the route of pumpkins and melons. If you've never made a farm for these, it's actually one of the simplest farms to set up, if not the cheapest resource-wise. It requires a lot of pistons and observers, but once you have those, you're golden. And the good thing about these is, it doesn't have to be all that big. I'm making an 8x8 here, and with the amount of AFKing I usually do in a season, I will have more pumpkins and melons than I know what to do with before very long. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on how to make one of these, as you can find tutorials for them all over YouTube already. I think the only real way I differ from any of them is my use of lighting blocks and water. You technically don't need a water source to make the farm work, but, if I remember right, having water sources makes the farm grow faster. So, the corner posts have light blocks underneath waterlogged leaf blocks, and this will keep the whole farm hydrated and lit. I used the jack-o'-lanterns on top as they are a light source as well, but they also conduct redstone signals, so I tend to use them when I need a light and a block to push a signal through in the same area. And as far as gathering everything up, I have the sugarcane and bamboo farm across the street, so I'm going to route a Minecraft track over here and have all the items from both farms collected into the same chests. At some point, I'll put an item sorter on all of it, but my plan is to build all the farms and then have some centralized storage area for all the items. But that's not a project for today. But while I finish connecting the minecart system together, I think I'm going to call it there. I feel like a lot was accomplished today. I mean, I know for a fact this is the earliest I have ever had an organized storage area, so that's a big deal for me. And the main house has been rebuilt, and we narrowly avoided being raided and losing all the librarians, and we set up the first GGG shop of the season, that's important. And we even had a magical floating golem. What else could you ask for? So, as always, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like if you liked, hit the subscribe button, comment if the mood takes you. But whatever you decide to do, I have been Gragore, and this has been Roguecraft. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, always try and find a way to have some fun. See ya!